let's see if we remember how to do this.
Ready?
Maximum effort. 3, 2,
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
And
boom.
Bam.
How's everyone doing this fine September? We are in September, and I apologize to all of our awesome and fine audience and listeners who have been keeping up with us for a very long time now. Your boy, of course, me. I'm one of your hosts, Cabacungan, aka the Dark King. I've been on vacation, and I have been sick since I came back.
You took to heart that Green Day song, "Wake Me Up When September Ends,"
dude.
Because that's basically what I've had to do for the last week and a half. Is hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, JR, you gonna wake up, dude?
bro. Okay. No. Oh, and of course, to introduce my compatriot here, he is the one, the only.
I am the voice of reason. Voice of reason 23, Kevin Pillow. Just got done as we record this. It's a Friday night, so we're not only are we overdue by about 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
we're late doing a recap video by about 2 days. But as I posted earlier, I posted a live video on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page explaining why JR has been sick. He not COVID, not COVID. So everyone's like, that. I hate that. My daughter has, we live in the desert. It's actually been cooler the last couple of days. So my kids think it's cooler. I don't have to drink as much water anymore because it's not as cold. No, because it's just hot enough that you can still get dehydrated. And my daughter got a sore throat. You said sore throat in a public school? Yeah. You're out. So they sent her home. So she's been home sick. Yeah. But not COVID.
No. Yeah. Same thing happened when I was actually out there in Vancouver. I went to the Rose City Comic-Con. It was an awesome event. It was still pretty jam-packed when I went there. It was in Portland, Oregon. And actually the day I came, I flew down there. My nephew was he was sent home because he sounded sick, right, for a couple of days. And I'm like, and I get it, we're still in COVID era rules type of stuff. But we also understand too, like, this is about the same time now where we get like, your common colds, your flus.
It's just gonna get ugly the next.
It's gonna get and so that's something to look at. That's something to look forward to, everybody. And I felt it too, but like I knew the difference going through COVID. I knew the difference between COVID and the flu or any type of other sickness. And so, it's here we are. We live in this universe now where we gotta say, oh snap, is it the flu or is it COVID? Shit. So we live in this universe. So.
Yeah. So by the way, throw a little shout out my way. I just got done doing a live halftime show for high school football here in the Coachella Valley. And now 7 games of high school sports have been affected by COVID-19. So it's still out there, but it's good news is California no longer in the red. We're in the not so red. We're in like a really dark orange.
Yeah.
So,
which is good.
The numbers are down. Good news. We might actually have a holiday season. We might actually get to go trick or treating. And my plan this year is not to kill a barbecue on Halloween. That's how I got my smoker last year. Was I killed a barbecue on Halloween and got a smoker the next day. But anyways, if you can't guess what we're going to talk about on this bonus episode. We're going to talk about Black Widow. No, I was kidding. We're going to talk about What If. We have got 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 episodes to catch up on. We talked about it on the disclaimer video that I put out on Wednesday. We're going to start off. We're going to have it run in the background. We're just going to kind of do our opinions on the show. While it's kind of, we're not going to do a typical long form where they're going to be playing the. I'm going to have it playing in the background just as news and notes. So I'm going to play here in a second. Yeah. So just for legend's sake, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? What if zombies? What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? What if Thor were an only child? Those are the 4 episodes we're going to talk about. So I'm going to turn on What If Doctor Strange. Now, JR,
yeah,
this episode came out 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And this was right when you weren't really feeling very well.
Yeah.
You've got, for those of you who don't know, if you're okay with talking about this,
Yeah.
you have every once in a while, you have bouts of vertigo.
Yeah. Really bad vertigo.
Which can be different types of things. The most common form of vertigo is you kind of get that, whoa, like almost like that
Worlds.
world
Yeah.
spinning. You almost feel drunk.
Yeah.
I've experienced it at high heights. I don't like heights.
Mm.
To be timely, so to speak,
Mm.
being that this past month we I hate to use the word celebrated, but we had the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
9/11. That's right.
I am one of many people, maybe few in our inner circle here, who have stood atop the Twin Towers. I actually got to
Mm.
go in the original World Trade Center.
Yep.
And I can remember as a kid, I hated going up that elevator. I still have vivid memories of it.
Yeah.
And staying up top of the observation, I was like, whoa, like, and it was that
Yeah.
first time I experienced like the world's kind of wobbly. That's not the full version of what JR's experienced. You just
No.
kind of had the.
I was so basically, I think the worst case of like I've had it on and off for the last like 2-3 weeks now, right? I'm
Yep.
even before my trip, and it's a crazy thing. I can never figure it out. It has something to do with like your eardrum, your not your canal, but like the actual inner ear, and
Yeah.
like how there's a crystal floating through the liquid, and like if it's blocked there, your head or your body thinks you're moving, right? And so that's why there's that spinning effect of like the world's going left or right, right? But the worst of it came when it wasn't going left or right. It was actually going up and down.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so like it's the weird thing, like because usually when you try to treat your vertigo, right, you go to the side where you think the world is kind of like standing still, and you just try to sleep it off, close your eyes and stuff like that, right? Well, at least that's what I try to do. I even took Dramamine and all that stuff, still didn't work. That time, bro, it felt like it was bad.
You had the
It was
worst of it
bad.
was that
I,
week.
it was like a good full like 8 hours. I just like wanted to heave, throw up. It was bad. I tried to sleep it off, but like I could get like maybe a good 2-3 minutes to sleep, and nope. The world said, "Fuck you, you gotta wake up." So basically, the most simple way I can think about it is that feeling of like being in an elevator, right? And just that moment when the elevator kind of stops and you're stuck in that zero gravity type of thing, right? Like you're waiting for your body to just basically like hit gravity. I felt like that for a full 8 hours.
Screw
And just
that.
constantly like oh God, I was constantly nauseous on that stuff. And so I'm still kind of going through like that stuff now. But when you talked about during 9/11, my flight was near 9/11 to Portland, Oregon. And then they talked, and I had to be on a freaking flight with vertigo already. And just that whole thing was a freaking trick, man. But yeah, it completely sucks. I am, if you're dealing with vertigo or you're dealing with any type of like sickness, man, I get it. I freaking get it. I do not wish that's on anybody, dude. But onwards of that, I thankfully was able to catch up on all the What If episodes, even
And
the most recent one.
so this brings me to my point was,
Yeah.
I remember JR texted me to do, I've got the bad vertigo, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, dude. He goes, I'm going to catch up. I said, bro, if you've got vertigo, do not watch the Doctor Strange episode.
Yeah.
A lot of moving parts,
Mm-hmm.
a lot going on. It was, it really kind of hits you in the feels right from the get-go, because in the original Doctor Strange movie and the comic book
Mm-hmm.
and the cartoons, Doctor Strange gets into a car wreck, smashes his hands. He is a world-renowned surgeon who can't use his hands. He goes to was it Comatage, learns
Yeah.
the way of the
Mystic Arts.
the mystic arts,
Mm-hmm.
masters the use of the time stone, and so on and so forth. Well, in this episode, we see, which by the way, a hell of a cast, because most of it came
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
including Tilda Swinton
Mm-hmm.
as the Ancient One, which I know was
Yep.
a lot of controversy about. Here's a white
Originally.
woman playing an ancient
Asian
Asian character,
dude. Yeah.
which
Mm-hmm.
I think we both kind of agreed we were kind of on okay with.
I mean,
I would
it's
have
Tilda
liked to
Swinton.
have seen it, but if you're gonna
Yeah,
have someone, Tilda Swinton, I think did
so
a great job on it.
yeah, it's one of those things where like, okay, having Doctor Strange already is just gonna be like that's a left field type of casting,
Yeah,
right? Even for like, we had freaking the Guardians of the Galaxy, which
yeah,
to have Tilda Swinton, to have it, these deep characters like Ancient One in there is like cool. You gotta have some type of name. So Tilda Swinton, just to have her resume on there is great. I mean,
yeah,
yes, I would have loved an Asian person, but at the same time, it's Tilda freaking Swinton. So
yeah. And you have Benedict Wong comes back to play Wong. You have Benedict Cumberbatch comes back to voice Doctor Strange.
mm.
The big get is you have and I just drew a blank on her name.
Amy, not Adams. Was it Rachel McAdams?
Rachel McAdams comes
Rachel
back and
McAdams.
plays
Yeah.
The female lead, who, in replace of Doctor Strange, dies 5 minutes into the movie, into the TV show.
Yeah.
And then of course, what was discussed in Infinity War, or sorry, in Endgame, what's been discussed in any kind of time travel movie, TV show, whatever, is the second you start to mess with time,
Mm-hmm.
you start to screw up. You can start screwing some shit up. Pardon my friends.
Yeah.
And we learn that in this episode. We learn firsthand what can happen when you deal with what did Benedict, what's Wong call it? It's basically an inevitable event. There's
Yeah.
no amount of time travel that can
Yeah.
change the course of this event. And it's that old saying, like, if I could go back in time and change things, what would you do?
Mhm.
It's like for example, and this I think this does bring into question, and I thought about this past week. This brings into the question of, why didn't Captain America, why didn't Steve Rogers, when he lived out the 70 plus years after returning the time stones to their location and then going back to live his life with Peggy, did he try to end Hydra? Did he try to take out, at some point, did he go back in time and take out Adolf Hitler? Does he try to end the hostage situation at the Olympics? Does he try to
Mhm.
end 9/11? Does he try to stop the Challenger exploding? All these questions that have been asked since Endgame is like, why? Same thing with Eternals. Why didn't the Eternals get involved? And
Mhm.
I think that we're seeing this with Watu, the Watcher, is and stuff like even Benedict Wong, or sorry, just Wong explaining
Yeah.
there are certain things that are inevitable. So I'm wondering if that's what explanation we're going to get down the road, especially with the Eternals, is if we're going to, not only were the Eternals not able to intervene because of um the Celestials,
Yeah.
but are we going to learn that it just isn't possible
Yeah.
to get it? And now the Watchers, what the Watchers, that's their actual race, or are they
Yeah.
Celestials? Where, or are they
I
just,
I think they're just called the Watchers in
they're
general,
just
man. Because
Watchers? They're
yeah,
not like a Celestial.
it,
They're not a god or anything.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think because like I would have them semi in that range of like Celestials. It's that with Celestial they're able to like Celestials are one of the most powerful beings within a universe, right? But the Watcher can see multiple universes. So it's
Yeah.
a weird type of like power scaling in that event where the omniscience level of Watchers can possibly outpace that of Celestials. It's weird. It's a weird type of thing. Like it's kind of like it's the debate of like who's the better boxer, Muhammad Ali or Pacquiao, type of thing. One got striking, one definitely got striking power, but one got speed. It's that like it's a different type of weight class
Yeah.
type of thing, right? So and so it's just that for me. The whole thing though, the whole episode for me was really, really. I gotta say, yes, this is definitely, and not just with this episode, but the more with the episodes after this too. The animation budget and is really, really good.
The animation got better, and I mean, the which we'll get to we'll talk about the Marvel Zombies here, but I want
Yeah,
to kind of get to, um we now see the Ancient One
Yeah.
come in and explain, hey, you can't mess with
Yeah.
these.
There's
I can't remember what she calls it, but for lack of a better term, in an inevitable situation.
inevitable
Um,
events or something like that. Yeah.
Now I forget real quick,
Yeah.
Jerry, because you know a little bit more about this. How is it that we get the split?
Oh, between the two,
How do we get the split Doctor Stranges?
because it's a weird thing where they're doing with like, like she did another splinter piece of fragments of reality, right?
Yeah,
You know how they always say, well, every yes is a no somewhere
yeah,
type of thing. She did the exact same thing with this one. Within this universe, she made another offshoot split universe by having Strange say, you know what, it's just a memory. Let it go, and he throws it away. But really, it's like it's the it again, it's comics. It's some higher level type of like quantum theory type of stuff. And so the second that decision he made where he's gonna split and go back to save her, he also did not go back to save her type of thing, right?
yeah,
Like it's that whole divergent path
yeah.
where do you go to? And then you come back to and then you come back to Nexus Center. It'll take a whole episode to explain it. Not really a whole episode, but like it's because you got to talk about quantum theory, quantum entanglement, all this other stuff, and just they do a lot specifically with Doctor Strange. And I freaking love that. I nerd out about that shit. I fucking love that about that. So
I'm kind of
that's what it
skipping
really
ahead.
is.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
skipping ahead now. Of course, we get introduced later in this episode to Doctor Strange,
yeah.
Sorcerer Superior. I don't think
Ugh,
they actually refer to him as
no,
Sorcerer Superior. Now,
no.
of course, it is, or some people call it the evil Doctor Strange.
Hmm.
And I don't know if he's necessarily quote evil. I think he's just lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Um, this raises a question, JR. We have only seen one trailer
Mhm.
for Spider-Man No Way Home, which we know involves a uh, mentor, Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
Tony Stark is dead. Iron Man is long gone until it's
Hmm.
resurrected with Ironheart, which we understand could be as early as Wakanda Forever.
Hmm.
Um, which, by the way, Letitia Wright, wish you a speedy recovery. I know that the movie's
Hmm.
on hiatus after she got injured.
Yep.
On the scene that we both got excited about, where Okoye, um, Shuri, and then
Yeah.
the aforementioned, we were talking about Lupita Nyong'o, who
Yeah.
she plays Nakia. So
Yeah.
Nakia, Okoye, and Shuri go to Boston to meet Riri
Oh,
Williams.
yeah.
So, side
That
note,
makes that's
anyways,
cool.
Tony Stark's dead. Stephen Strange is the new mentor to Spider-Man to Peter Parker. Um, there are scenes in the Spider-Man trailer that seem like it's Doctor Strange fighting Spider-Man. And so people now are questioning whether or not, especially there is one Doctor Strange that is without his cloak and in a very
Hmm.
dark costume. Is that the Sorcerer Supreme or is that the Sorcerer Superior? Is that the
Hmm.
evil Doctor Strange? I guess we will have to wait until
Yeah.
December to find out, which, by the way,
Yeah.
Full
Yeah.
List members, if you're watching us, it's coming back. We will talk about more about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
They're coming back. We are talking about that on our main show. So be looking for it in the feed. Um,
I will say though, for the comment of you of that if there's an evil Doctor Strange, too, I'll keep on saying it. I'll keep on saying this because the context of like what evil characters truly are. Every evil character did something out of love.
yeah,
Everybody turned evil because of reason for love. And yeah, Doctor Strange or Strange in this one is no different. It's just that he became super selfish, super indulgent. Because like he, this version of Strange is possibly where we all can possibly go to. It's a great contemporary commentary on like how any of us can just really go down a path if we're super obsessed with it.
yeah,
And that was cool. I love how they did that. How he was everything that he absorbed, every demon he absorbed, every mystic being was very much an evil entity. It felt like it came
Yeah.
from the it felt like it came from I forgot where is it from, but it's not. Is it from Mephisto's realm? It shouldn't be from hell. It should be from the realm where Nightcrawler originally came from. I forget what it's called though. Unless that is actually hell they came from too. For those who have no clue what the hell I'm talking about, Nightcrawler, the X-Men, right? Every time he bamps in and out of existence, he's actually going through his realm, and then like really, really fast, and then bamping out. Right.
So he's not actually going from place to place. He's going from place to place to place.
Yeah, it's like he's teleporting. That bamf he does for that brief second, he's actually going through super fast his own hell, I guess, right? His origin, his birthplace origin, and then he mapping back into existence. So I'm thinking that maybe that's where freaking Strange is getting all these demon entities from, man, and absorbing it into himself. That's crazy to think of, man. And then we get to see Sura Gorath, I think. Another appearance of him. Yeah.
We get another appearance. Matter of fact, we're seeing that right. I'm watching that right now. I'm kind of fast forwarding through it. But and we get to see in a little bit. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, just to kind of use this reference. We see a battle between Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange, and I've always contested that from a pure top to bottom storyline, character development, animation style, interaction with the source material, that though it inevitably became original source material, the Adventures of Batman, or Batman Adventures, was probably pound for pound the best comic book cartoon out there.
Easily.
A close second would be X-Men, the animated series.
Yep. I'll give you that.
This episode of What If is making a very strong case for one of the top animated comic book series out there, and a lot of it had to do with this fight scene. And we welcome any kind of comments about it, because we're going to talk about fight movies in a couple of weeks, to go along with our Shang-Chi review. But this was a damn good episode, and when they started fighting, it had a very Batman Adventures, or Adventures of Batman, whatever you want to call it, feel to it. They're just very dark and gritty. And someone told me too that is that coming to HBO Max, by the way? Did I read somewhere that they're going to finally bring the old Batman?
I think it's already on there, isn't it?
Is it already on there?
I swore like last time I checked it was already on there or something like that. Every time.
I'll check it, but leave us in the comments below. If you and I, if JR and I are both wrong, let us know where you can find the Batman the animated series, because arguably one of the best.
It is. It's up there. And I will say about What If, it's definitely in the conversation for one of the best animated shows up there. I can't see it right now overtaking Gargoyle for me. That's just me though.
Was Gargoyle really a cart based
on comic book? It's from the same creators of Batman. So
that was the Disney.
It was
from the creators of Gummy Bears.
Dude.
Here.
Xanthor. No, come on, bro. Xanthor. I forgot his name.
No, it was a great show. I do remember watching. It was a great show. Great animation.
Gargoyle was up there for me. It's like top 3. It's top 3. What if it continues on this trend? Granted that Batman Adventures took like I think 3 or 4 years to really show the world like, hey, we're the standard. I will give What If around that same time to really show me something, because they have a huge plethora to work with, man. I mean, for me, you can't beat the episode where the Clayface episode where Clayface has a young daughter, was actually him, and then Robin, Tim had to actually, that episode won a freaking Emmy, I think.
That was the thing, is Batman. People don't realize that Batman
won a lot, dude.
And that was kind of what pushed the Television Academy to start to recognize
Animated series,
animated
dude.
series
Yeah.
for consideration.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if this goes up next year. It's, by the way, as we record this, I do believe that the Mandalorian and WandaVision
Are up there for
won
miniseries?
some different Emmys. Of course, the big winner was, of course, Ted Lasso, which was kind of expected, which is a great show on Apple TV Plus. Not that we're a shill for them, but nonetheless, great episode. It was a great episode. Highly recommended it, and it's one of the many reasons to watch this. And I'm really kind of curious as to where Marvel goes with, for lack of better terms, Sorcerer Superior, as they kind of call, or evil Doctor Strange.
Dark Doctor Strange.
I am gonna jump ahead out of the Doctor Strange episode
to Marvel freaking Zombies. Oh my goodness, they freaking did it.
When we started the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2008, and Marvel Comics made a resurgence from then until now. And in that time, you got arguably the modern godfather of zombie fiction, Robert Kirkman. The guy who brought us the one, the only, the incomparable Walking Dead. The guy who went from being a comic book Comic-Con. First of all, long story short, Robert Kirkman walked into a comic book store, didn't even know what a pull list was. Ends up going to C2E2, essentially kidnaps a member of Image Comics to drive him to the airport.
Which he didn't know what the freaking airport was.
He had no idea where the airport. He found an airplane, so follow the airplane. Talks to one of the guys from Image, finds out, how do I get into comic books? And now you look at him, he's the head of Image Comics. He is
one of the heads,
but he's what's his name? The guy that runs DC.
He's in Lee's position. Absolutely. Which is funny enough. Jim Lee. Which is funny enough, Jim Lee's old position, Image.
He was an Image boy. That's right.
Which is hilarious.
By the way, and JR and I will do this because people have asked about this. Arguably one of my favorite documentaries about the comic book industry has been Sci-Fi Wire's story on Image Comics. If you are a comic book nerd, if you consider yourself a comic book nerd, absolutely, you have to look it up on YouTube. Sci-Fi Wire, it's a 6-part series, I think. They're quick videos, or like maybe 15, 20 minutes a piece. It'd take you about an hour, little over an hour to kill it. And it talks about that. It goes from the guys like Jim Lee and the guy who can't draw feet, Todd McFarlane, and
not
all
Tom,
the other
not,
guys.
not Todd McFarlane. It's the guy who got checked. It's the Jim Lee quotation. No, Jim Lee, comma, the guy who can't draw feet, comma, Todd McFarlane, comma.
Anyways, him, the guy who created Deadpool. They all go to Image Comics. We'll do a social. I thought this was great. So you have the opening to Marvel Zombies is basically the opening to Infinity War. You have Hulk come to Earth. It does not say from where. It's assumed he's maybe coming from Thanos' ship, which it's a possibility because of foreshadowing what we find at the end of the episode.
Just real quick, how do we get on the how did we go from Robert Kirkman to zombies?
Because we're watching,
just
because Robert Kirkman is the guy who wrote Marvel Zombies. Bet you didn't know that. Yeah, they hired Robert Kirkman to come over to Marvel, and he did Marvel Zombies.
That's right.
And obviously, What If Zombies is inspired by Marvel Zombies.
That's right.
For those of you who don't know, I've never read it. I need to find the trade paperback. I'm sure I could find it up, but
I've read a couple of them.
I want to read the original series because apparently it's hilarious.
Oh, it is hilarious.
That's what I heard.
It
It's
is
a very
gruesome.
I heard it's a dark comedy almost. Like it's
It's
just
yes. But it's super dark.
oh yeah. But I
I'm
just heard it's
talking
got
about like yeah. I'm talking about like when they eat, they remember everything.
yeah, I did hear about that. One of my favorite moments from the Marvel Zombies, for those who remember from Infinity War, where Wong battles
Mhm.
the Black Order. No, not the Black Order. The what are they called?
Hmm.
The children of Thanos. Is that
Black Order.
The Black
Yeah.
Order? There's a moment where Obsidian Cole has his arm chopped off because
Oh yeah.
what's it called? Wong does like a little thing
Yeah.
and it chops off his hand. Well, he does it reverse. They do it and it ends up chopping off the head of Wong in it. So, anyways, I just thought it was kind of
Yeah.
funny.
It
So
was,
we're seeing that, we see a group of freedom fighters, so to speak.
mhm.
By the way, the zombie plague was, and it's explained right now, was when Hank Pym went into the quantum realm to find
Mhm.
Janet Van Dyne, only to find out that she had been zombified because of a
Quantum bacteria or something
quantum
like that?
bacteria, and that brings it to the
To
real
the
world, so to
our
speak,
verse. Yeah.
to our
Yeah.
universe. And it's we find out that Scott Lang almost dies. They chop off his head. They're able to save his head. We find that out later. Hope Van Dyne survives for a moment, but that's what it was. It was that Janet Van Dyne brought back the this quantum plague,
Mm.
and that Earth's mightiest heroes were brought in to kind of fight this zombie plague. And obviously, when you have Ant-Man as the almost kind of patient zero, he's able to kind of get around quickly, and he takes out the Avengers
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just thought it was unique that the group of kind of mercenaries, or the group of zombie fighters, is
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Hulk or Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Who else was it?
It was
Bruce Banner, because he's not
Bucky.
the
Bucky
Bucky.
was there.
Um,
Wong
Agent
is
13.
there.
Happy Hogan.
That's right. Happy's in
Agent
there.
13.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange's cape.
Yeah. We did say Hope Van Dyne, right?
Hope Van Dyne. Kurt from Ant-Man, the
That's
Russian
right.
guy.
That's right. He was awesome there too.
He was great.
And it was someone else too. We had another person. I forgot who though. Pretty sure.
I can't remember. It's going to come to us here in a second, but
Yeah.
I don't know if Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye, I think I got taken out, but
They got taken out.
it was a unique. It's an eclectic mix
Yeah.
of superheroes.
Hmm.
A lot of fun, very good original storyline. That's what I like. Is it kind of deviates from a normal kind of storyline of 3-act. It still has that,
Yeah.
but it's like
I mean, yeah. I like how every what if still plays
Okoye
within
too.
Okoye. Yes, right. I love how every what if still plays within the realm of like the MCU, right? It does take your interpretations from the comics, like Marvel Zombies, but like in Marvel Zombies, it was totally different.
Yeah.
The comics, it was totally different. Like like how Quicksilver, how the zombie virus got through the world so fast is that Quicksilver got bitten, he turned into a zombie, and he went to like the other countries, just going through thing, right? And this one is different. They never said who. They never said. I don't think they spoke about Thor in this one. I don't remember. I don't recall. Unless they did.
I don't, not that I remember, but they did.
I don't remember.
This was the episode of, this was a key issue, so to speak. This was the first mention within the Marvel Cinematic Universe of Uncle Ben. This was the first time that Peter Parker, but it is not Tom Holland, it was recast.
That's right.
This is the first time that the Uncle Ben was referenced in the main the MCU, because we remember
Yeah.
these are classified as canon. This is taking place in an alternate universe. Every episode of What If is in a different universe. I know people are going like, "Oh, how are they interconnected when this is happening? This is happening. You already killed the Avengers 3 times." And I'm like, because they're in different universes.
Thank you for playing the game. Like that's what I freaking love about it. But yeah, it's crazy how they meet. I forgot how they meet Hank again. No, how they meet not Hank, but uh the not zombified head
Oh,
of
so we find out later that Vision and the Mind Stone is
Yeah.
able to put a buffer out there that stops the
the virus from
virus
Yeah.
and the what's it called, the zombies from coming forward. It almost has like a little force field, and yes, it does have
Yeah.
kind of a reversal effect
Mhm.
on the it has kind of a reversal effect on the
Yeah.
plague, and
Yeah.
that they're able to save Scott Lang
Yeah.
and his head. But we find out later that the reason that it's just the head of Scott Lang was because the rest of his body was brought
Ready.
to
Yeah.
the rotting corpse, so to speak,
Yeah.
of the one, the only Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Now,
And a quick thing to note too. That little head inside of a jar thing,
yeah,
that is a nod to the classic Marvel zombies. But the person whose head is inside there is actually Peter Parker.
it's Peter Parker.
Yeah, which is freaking crazy.
Yeah. And I can't remember what they said what the reasoning was, but I think they said they wanted Peter more full body, I guess. That's where
Yeah.
they get that.
Yeah. Which interesting. I mean, you can't have Tom Holland decapitated head inside a jar.
No.
You can't. Or Spider-Man, a young version of Spider-Man. You can't. Right? In the comics, you can't do that because he's older in the comics. But like for young kids on Disney, you can't have Spider-Man's head inside of a jar. That's a big no. So,
and it was funny was that you and I yet they can use Okoye to cut Sam Wilson in half.
Yeah, no.
That was brutal.
That was crazy. Yeah.
I will say that this was a lot of fun. This episode was a lot of fun. Again, told some great stories. Kind of jumping ahead, we find out that what seems for a moment the hero of the episode is Vision, yet inevitably Vision becomes one of the big bads, because his whole point is he's trying to feed Scarlet Witch. Now, I've always jokingly said that one of the worst things in the world you can do in comics is give someone like Deadpool or Gwenpool the Infinity Gauntlet. I stand corrected. One of the worst things in the world you can do is make the Scarlet Witch a zombie, because that is one powerful witch.
Yeah.
I like this episode. It was dark, but it was funny. I think that the vein of the original content of Marvel Zombies, which, by the way, the Marvel Zombies comic book is not a what if. It is a it's more
it's
of
a full-on series.
It's a series. It's a full-on series that I don't think was canon.
No, it was one of those things where like it. Well, technically, it was semi-canon. It wasn't Earth 616, which was the mainline story.
Oh, that's
but
right.
It happened.
It's its own planet. I'm sorry, it's its own universe.
It's own. It has its own universe. Yeah, because like it just kind of short things out. It first came out in 2005, right? It extended through multiple different ones, through multiple different continuities. Where at the end of it, right, of the original run, the ultimate version of Reed Richards, right, got in contact with the zombified version of himself, because that happens. I mean, we're gonna see Kang soon, so that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so it just ends. It crazily ends with Deadpool killing everybody, all the zombies. Well, one of the stories. It's crazy, and I freaking love it. Right.
Which, by the way, how much do you like that we finally got to see the Ant-Man theory on killing Thanos, but instead we get to see Hope Van Dyne kill Agent 13, Sharon Carter,
Yeah,
with
that thing.
the exploding from within.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
man. Yeah.
that was
That's hilarious.
pretty funny.
It sucks. Yeah, it sucks for Sharon, but that was funny. That was funny to see, man. Great episode. They have been saying that they want to do a live. There has been rumors for a live action one coming. So
And
interesting.
of course, the big reveal, because as we're getting closer. By the way, Paul Rudd playing the disembodied
Version of himself.
head of Ant-Man, Scott
Yeah.
Lang, doing dad jokes was fantastic.
Mhm.
The end of the show sees T'Challa as
Who
Black
was
Panther.
as Black Panther? He was in Cut Up, being fed Scarlet Witch.
So yes, he's missing
A leg.
one of his legs.
Yep.
And we see the disembodied Scott Lang and of course Spider-Man go to Wakanda. They're going to try to figure out how to use the Mind Stone, which they were able to rip from the head of Vision, or actually I think Vision.
He ate himself. Yeah.
So he gives it to T'Challa, Scott Lang, and Peter Parker, who are the only ones remaining. And of course, they're going to Wakanda because T'Challa says there's only one place on Earth that can handle an Infinity Stone. What he doesn't know is, on knocking on the door of the border, is zombie Thanos.
Yeah.
With the Infinity Gauntlet, and all he's missing is the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
So, Rotro, what are we getting to? I think this is for the first time. That was kind of the first time that we saw. Okay, we still have not had a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
But this was the closest thing we've had to one. Going back, I don't think there was one in the What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes.
No.
What if T'Challa became Star-Lord?
Actually,
we kind of did.
Yeah.
We saw a stinger on that one where we see Ego come to face with Peter Quill.
There was one in What If they lost the Earth Mightiest Heroes, because at the end of that we do see Captain Marvel come back. You remember that?
Oh, you are right.
Yeah.
And then of course, what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? We see Captain Carter come through the wormhole and come to face with Nick Fury and Hawkeye, in the vein of Loki and the first Avengers. Which brings us to the most one of the other next episodes. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? Again, a really fun episode, interesting storyline. I think at times they tried to do too much with this episode. That was my only complaint about this one. But
I mean, it was it was an interesting take where you already saw a character already set in his ways. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And having Iron Man off the board that early does show severe consequences, man.
And like Uatu says, like the Watcher says, is, one slight divergent leads to this what if scenario. And so in this particular case is Killmonger happens to be in Afghanistan. He sees this convoy under attack and he rescues Tony Stark. Now what we come to find out, Eric Killmonger is a double agent. He's working for the 10 Rings. He was hired by Obadiah Stane to kill Tony Stark, but like I said, he's working as a double agent to save Tony Stark. And then we find out he's actually a triple agent and
working for himself.
And he's trying to infiltrate Stark Industries. Now, what we find out from the very beginning, again, what happens if Killmonger saves Tony Stark? Well, one question is answered right away. Iron Man never exists. Tony Stark doesn't have his redemption against Thanos. Does that have, in that world, does Thanos inevitably come to Earth and try to overthrow it? Does Thanos win because Iron Man's not there for the ultimate sacrifice, that there's no one there to make
Not even
that play.
not even that. Do they even win against Loki when he takes over New
True.
York?
And of course, foreshadowing, could they beat Ultron?
Yeah.
Great episode because you see the range of Michael B. Jordan, who's a fantastic actor.
Awesome.
And I know that there's a bunch of people that will sit there and say, well, Kevin, and for those of you who know me, will say, Kevin, you say he's a great actor and that race shouldn't matter. Then why the hell did you have a problem with Michael B. Jordan playing Johnny Storm? It just didn't work. It didn't work. Michael B. Jordan, and all of his infinite abilities as an actor, could not pull that off.
Here's the thing. Fantastic Four, Michael B. Jordan being the brother, being the black brother, should be one of the lowest things on that list of what's wrong with Fantastic Four.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, but if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, sure, I made it 5 minutes.
I mean, sure, there's a glaring quote unquote thing with it, but one, it's Michael B. Well, we can see it now be Michael B. Jordan, right? I think it was a, people are too caught up on the fact that that Johnny Storm was this, freaking, this adrenaline junkie trying to do all these things, rode a motorbike, do all this crazy stuff, right? It was the brash, braggadocious brother and seen as a white dude. And then you see Michael B. Jordan. Like, people got caught up on that too much, right? People, what they should have got caught up on is the fact that freaking the smartest guy in the room wasn't the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. Reed Richards needs to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, and they did not make him the smartest guy.
No.
It was, that was one of the biggest things. Like, come on.
Yeah.
As we continue.
We do see in this episode, again, we get to see the wide range of Eric Killmonger, or Eric, not Eric Killmonger, Eric.
I forgot his last name. That one
exactly,
but it's Killmonger. Yeah,
Killmonger is the code name.
Yeah,
we see his range as a character, but we see Michael B. Jordan's abilities as a voice actor, and
yeah, dude,
just fantastic.
We need him to come back. Dude.
I think
I want him to come back.
The possibilities are open now that we have the multiverse.
True, but at the same time, like, people are expecting him to be possibly the next Black Panther, which I don't want him to be. I would like him to be possibly, if I remember correctly, it wasn't the White Panther.
No, the White Panther. There's a character, the actor whose name eludes me at this point.
Yeah.
Is the actor from Bridgerton, who is set to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is supposedly going to play the White Panther.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they could just have him come back as fucking Killmonger, dude. That's it. Just have him come back as Killmonger and like be one of those, like, be a Loki-esque type character.
Yeah. Fun episode.
Yeah.
We get to see
basically
Killmonger's
just
double, triple, quadruple.
Take down everything. We see him. The relationship that he builds with Tony, it felt very much what Rhodey should have been in that time frame, right? And so they build that relationship. They fed well off one another. I gotta say, man, that was the one things I did not expect. Or like, if this was really the path, if Killmonger or Eric, like, actually, had a better position, or wasn't given the cards he was dealt, man, and he met Tony Stark here, but was this freaking genius MIT student that did all this stuff. They fed well off each other. I saw the possibilities, like, the second they were in that scene, just thinking about, like, if how to make certain the iron shoot, basically.
Yeah,
like, that was, I really was wanting more of those scenes.
Well, we do see
them being nerds and geeks, dude.
Did you see Killmonger and Tony Stark create the robot, which was based on Killmonger's dissertation at MIT. We do find out more about Killmonger, that he not only was the aforementioned Navy SEAL. Um, we know that he was this, obviously this mercenary. But he was also an MIT graduate and was a doctor, I believe of engineering. Or actually, take that back. No, you can't be a doctor, because I don't think they give doctorates away at MIT. But anyways, he's a well-educated character. But they create this horde of robots, very similar to the Hammer drones from Iron Man 2. So it makes me want to think that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, does Killmonger go to MIT within the main line? Does he go to MIT? Is he an engineering genius?
Yeah.
And does what's his name? What's his name? First name Hammer.
Who?
What's Hammer's first name?
Oh, I forgot his name, but yeah, him. The freaking
the guy from
Arnold?
Iron Man 2.
Was it Arnold? No.
That's Army Hammer is the
Army
actor.
Hammer.
Anyways, does Hammer Industries steal the patent? Something to explore.
Justin Hammer.
So does Justin Hammer steal from MIT? Because we do know that the character within the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not a highly educated man. He's always rides on the shoulders of others, like he does with Anton Vankoff.
Yeah.
In Iron Man 2. So fast forward through this episode of What If Killmonger saves Tony Stark. So you see Killmonger double cross Tony after building this army of robots because of his position. What's that?
Yeah. Before that, actually, they make a deal to get vibranium, where Rhodey does get killed during the process trying to meet Ulysses Claw, right? Because that's still that plug-in. They meet Ulysses Claw. He was killed in the process, and then Black Panther, played, of course, by Chadwick Boseman. T'Challa comes into the scene trying to get back what was stolen from his country, and in that essence too, he is killed off by Killmonger. Both T'Challa and Rhodey are killed off by Killmonger.
And then to gain access to Wakanda, once again, Killmonger kills Ulysses Claw.
Yeah.
In the process, through all this process, Tony Stark finds out about this whole plan. He too is murdered by Killmonger. So Killmonger, living up to his name, we find out that of course the nickname was given to him by the Germans during his time in Afghanistan. We find that out too. He uses Ulysses Claw to infiltrate Wakanda to gain favor with the Wakandan king and queen. We find out that in this universe, who is the general of the Wakandan army?
Fuck yeah!
It is
I forgot. Yeah, the mother. The
mother.
Yeah.
Who is Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love her.
Who, by the way, returns to do the voice of the queen.
Fuck yeah, she does.
As well as the guy who plays
Father?
T'Chaka.
Yeah.
So they all return.
Yep.
The only one that Shuri is not played by Letitia Wright in this.
No,
because early on people thought that this was going to lead to her firing.
Which in this one, in this episode in particular, Shuri is actually her age. She's supposed to be.
She's a very young,
she's like
Shuri,
8-10 years old.
Yeah. Oh,
but she's still like top 5 genius in the world.
Yeah.
Which she should.
They've always said that. For those of you who don't know comic books, and I know it's easy to write fiction. You can write a comic book and say, no, my guy's the most genius. That's what I love about Marvel is they no, don't don't just do it to do it. And it has been canonically written. The top brain in the Marvel universe is Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Very close is of all things, Doctor Doom. Also very intelligent. But over the years, and it's been carefully played, that some of the top minds up there, Hank Pym, Tony Stark.
Yep.
But
Tony Stark's on lower end. Tony Stark's on lower end of that, actually, which is crazy.
Riri
Amadeus,
Williams,
Riri's on there.
And Shuri. And
Amadeus Cho.
Moon Girl.
Moon Girl's on there. Yeah. Yeah, Moon Girl's up there. Amadeus Cho. There's like a bunch of that list is a bunch of young characters.
So and like I said, the one constant is that Reed Richards is still
the smartest man
and
possibly in existence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And everyone, I like how everyone says, no, it's got to be Black Panther. No, it's not. And that's how I loved it in the movie too. Was it's Shuri? It's very much Shuri. And everyone's like, oh, that's part of it because of the Me Too movement. No, it has been like that since day one. Of Shuri's first appearance. Was she has been one of and
to kind of back her up too, T'Challa, right? He went to MIT. He went through like 6 or 7 of the most prestigious schools in the world, graduated all of them, and he still doesn't necessarily hold the candle to Shuri. Because of how gifted she is.
The other name too that I just forgot it. Dadgummit. Was obviously Peter Parker. Peter Parker. What's great about Peter Parker is he's effortless for him.
Yeah, he's up there.
And he's got raw talent, but he doesn't have that. What's different between him and some of the other characters is, and it's what I love about his character, is that he's vulnerable because he's still a kid. Even as an adult, he has that. He doesn't have that killer instinct.
Unless you are possessed by the mind of Doc Ock, and then after that, you become a billionaire.
And there you go. Otto Octavius also should be considered up there. Yeah. Norman Osborn should be considered up there. As many good guys like a Reed Richards, a Moon Girl, a Riri. You also have a Doc Ock, a Norman Osborn,
Von freaking Doom,
Dr. Doom. Yeah, Victor Von Doom is up there, and obviously you can go through countless other cosmic level characters that too are highly intelligent. Anybody from I was gonna say
Eternals.
Midgard. I was gonna say from Asgard.
Eternals. Asgard. Yeah.
But
it just
anyways,
depends on the thing. I also small tidbit, because I kind of want to gush a little more about Von Doom. He's actually, if he wanted to, he could have been the Sorcerer Supreme, because his magical powers are that vast and that potent.
Stephen Strange. How the fuck do we forget Stephen Strange?
Well, here's the thing, though. Stephen Strange, he's a genius in a different sense, though. He wasn't computational science genius. He was very much work with your hands genius, because he knows how to fix bodies.
But so again, the obviously the Sorcerer Supreme as well.
Sorcerer Supreme, absolutely, because how driven he is, how freaking he wants to go.
You could make an argument that Wong maybe being the librarian of, or the ancient one, but I think overall, I think you still have to go with the core group. In this episode, it does end, like I said, you have Killmonger infiltrates the royal family. They trust him. He defeats the robots by kind of sleight of hand trickery. Riri sees right through it. Riri sneaks back into the United States. By the way, Wakanda becomes enemy of the state because they declared war. Or basically, it's insinuated that Wakanda killed
Rhodey. Black Panther
killed Tony Stark.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Killed Tony Stark. So the entire nation of Wakanda is an enemy of the United States. Shuri, again, her infinite wisdom, sneaks back in the United States. Not only infiltrates the United States, but infiltrates Stark Industries, gets into the CEO office of Pepper Potts, and basically tells Pepper Potts, as the episode ends, we have a snake in the grass. Killmonger is not who he says she is, and again, like JR mentioned, Shuri showing her age, and that she's not the teenager, the angsty teenager that we see in the movie, which was great, played
Mm.
brilliantly by
Yeah.
Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, it's kind of tough because you look at the first appearance of I'll take that back. It's not a first appearance of Shuri, but it's the first appearance of Shuri as the Black Panther. She is a teenager. And I think that's why fans like seeing Letitia Wright as Shuri. But fun episode, really, really unique storyline.
Yeah.
Where do you think so? That puts us 6 episodes in. We're on the downward stretch. We're on the home stretch towards the second half of season 1. We don't know. We do know there is going to be 2 seasons.
Yep.
So Marvel Zombies is the halfway point. Then Killmonger. Now we get to What If Thor Was an Only Child, and I have to say, it was a fun episode, but wasn't my favorite. But where'd you think so far after 6? Where'd you think of Killmonger?
It was pretty heavy in the sense of like it, because like the last few episodes, I mean, you're talking about like heavy undertones of like every one of those universes are basically dying or on the brink of extinction or on the brink of all-out war in some cases, right? We have the destruction of the entirety of the universe because Strange wanted to save Rachel McAdams. That's got her name, the character name. The next one, Marvel freaking Zombies, obviously. And then this one, just Killmonger going through with his plans of wanting to start a revolt because, yes, of course, slavery existed for a very long freaking time, and he hates the subjugation of his people. He hates the fact that subjugation of his people led to all these systemic things happening. So he rise up and go fucking kill everybody, right? Go kill the governments, all that stuff, all systemic shit, right? So a lot of heavy freaking undertones, man. I gotta say, out of all those though, the ones that we exclaimed, the ones that we talked about, I gotta say, my favorite one has to be the Doctor Strange one.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is still probably the best one so far.
Yeah.
That brings us to this past week. JR talked about this one a couple of weeks ago. Yep. It's Party Thor, or as the title says, what if Thor were an only child? Now technically,
go ahead.
Technically, he is an only child.
Yeah.
Loki's adopted. Hela
is abandoned.
Is abandoned, but it's never said. It just is insinuated that Hela was
from a previous marriage
daughter.
Yeah.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's insinuated that if it's Odin's daughter, it has to be Frigga's daughter. But there's no connection there. But granted, when we meet Hela, Frigga died in, of course, Thor 2. Yeah. But there's no insinuation at all, even when we are reintroduced to Frigga. Granted, it's the Thor Dark World Frigga. Frigga, whatever. Anyways, there's no. Is it a half sister?
No, it's whatever may be. The episode, I have to say, had some great levity.
Yes.
No, not levity. Brevity. There you go. Levity means heavy, and brevity means brief. So good. It was a great contradiction to every episode we've seen prior to this one, or great, change of pace, right?
It is.
Every episode was super serious. Had some serious matters, and this episode was that kind of they slowed down and say, you know what, let's have some fun and just throw out some cameos. And as Thor, yes, being the only child and not understanding the realms of like discipline in the sense of like what it means to have
becomes the spoiled brat.
You see that. You do see the little bits of that.
We do see a full-fledged flushing out of a animated Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
We do see the return of Darcy, played by Kat Dennings, fantastically. Love her.
Yes.
Loved her in WandaVision.
Yep.
Loved her in all the Thor movies.
Yeah.
It has a cute storyline, basically. Don't piss your mother off. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It has again. We're gonna be brief on this one because there really isn't a lot of substance to this one,
which is
which is okay.
Which is okay. Which it feels like a Taika Waititi episode.
Which, by the way, for those who don't follow Taika, when Marvel went to San Diego Comic-Con with Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi wore a pineapple Tommy Bahama shirt on stage. Multiple cutscenes in this episode as a character, dark complexion, crazy hair, weird kind of facial hair, with a pineapple Tommy Bahama shirt on.
Yep.
Basically insinuating that Taika Waititi, not a character played by Taika, but Taika Waititi is canon. That he had put himself. He's never referenced, but it's just a comfortable nod to, or it's a nice nod to Taika and his outfit that he wore to San Diego Comic-Con when they introduced Thor Ragnarok almost to a T. The only real ramifications that came out of this, JR, was the ending.
Yeah.
Where we see Thor is he's done cleaning up, he's done doing what he thinks he's calling for Heimdall to return him to Asgard. Pardon me.
I got it, my guy. I got it.
But
so basically,
take over.
The only moments of like
Friday
true
break,
heavy set. Yeah, don't worry about it, bro. My boy has been working. He's been working. So yeah, the only moments of like where it got super serious is, of course, with nearly every single freaking episode, the end of it, where after the crazy adventures of Thor and literally everyone he invited for a party, quite literally everyone he invited for a party, comes to an end with him saying goodbye to the girl and, hey, can we go home for a date? Which is gonna be Jane Foster. We see a portal open up right behind them outside. I think they were in Phoenix or Utah. Which desert was it?
I think
Utah's
it was
desert.
in Utah because it's where
they originally found.
Well, no, where they originally found Mjolnir is in New Mexico, but I think it's where they were. I think it's because the final battle. Well, at the end of the episode, Frigga comes back to Earth and he's teaching classes in Italy. But I think the desert landscape that he's at is actually the Arches National Park, which is kind of hinted at earlier in the episode in one of his battles with Captain Marvel. So I think he might be in Utah, but nonetheless, he's in the desert.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know if it is Utah or not, but it's basically the very first part where we initially see. I blanked her name. Darcy and Jane Foster in the RV where they were originally, right? So he goes out, wants to ask the girl on a date, and then we see this huge boom / like portal open up. We see basically a bunch of Ultrons come out of it, and the bigger Ultron comes out, and in it actually is revealed in the chest it has Infinity Stones, and then the face is kind of like semi Iron Man out, right? Taken off, and in it is Vision. So that's probably the only moment of like seriousness that happened, right? Oh crap, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Overall, though, the episode was fun. It was very
fun.
much. It was fun. There were some points of contention. I have to say, they did do a lot of stuff like they really overpowered. They really were trying to overpower Captain Marvel again. Which is, here's the thing: Captain Marvel is strong. I don't know if she's one punch equals 12 nukes strong.
Which they kind of hinted at.
They said that when she does go, I forgot the superpower mode she goes to. I forgot it, but when she goes to her quote unquote Super Saiyan mode, right? She does get stronger. She can go. Her powers are amplified.
Yeah,
but again, like you won't see these powers translate onto the big screen. It was cool to see her punch and getting punched by Thor and punching Thor across continents. That was awesome. You're supposed to have that. It's fun. It's zany. That was a little more zany episodes. You see a lot of cameos from everybody. I was thinking that we need more of these episodes, at least to see at least the fun side of what the Marvel Avengers could possibly be.
Yeah.
Like we need a happier episode. Like what happens if Tony doesn't die at the end of fucking Endgame, and everything is just happy. We're good. Tony has all his kids back, right? He has Peter. He has what's his name from Iron Man 3? The kid from Iron Man 3.
Oh, the I
Yeah.
can't remember the kid's name is, but
Yeah, but he show up in the funeral
yeah,
the funeral part,
the
right?
funeral episode at the end of Endgame. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have his own kid, right? I want to see them be fun. Like we need one of these what if episodes where like everyone's cool, everyone's happy. We semi saw that with this episode until the end. But overall, man, it was a fun episode. It very much felt like in the fun zaniness of Taika Waititi. They showed what was the big bad his name in freaking not the big bad. No, what was I forgot, dude. What's the name in Ragnarok? Ah,
Oh, Serta,
no,
the
no,
big
no, no, no.
fiery devil guy.
Oh, he was in there too, but not him. I'm talking about he was DJing in this
Oh,
episode.
the
In the episode.
Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. Just some offbeat stuff like that, man. But we also see hinted like you saw Guardians of the Galaxy there. Loki, who wasn't, who
He was a
we
frost
forgot to
giant.
talk. Yeah, we forgot to talk about too is that Loki wasn't abducted by Odin and taken back to his home. Odin actually gave him back to the Frost Giants. They mended relationships. Say, hey, we're cool, right? We're cool. And then you come to find out that Loki grew up with his people. He goes sees Thor, and they actually act like brothers. Like, hey, you're my brother from another mother, type of stuff, right? And so it was very much a lighthearted episode, which I enjoyed, and I hope we see more of somewhere down the line. Yeah.
Well, right now, IMDb is showing 2 more episodes, though I've heard that we're going to possibly get 10 episodes in season 1 of What If. Another episode will air next Wednesday, and then on October 6th. We still have not been introduced to as they refer to her as daughter of Thanos, Gamora, where she's wielding Thanos's big blade. And we still have not been not seen really any kind of cross universe storylines yet, so to speak. So that possibly is still coming, though they've hinted at that we probably won't see that until next season. So maybe some of the stuff that we've seen in the trailers won't happen until next season, but we'll have to wait and see. So just a few more episodes left to go, and then of course, and we will talk about in the next episode. We will talk about Hawkeye and the trailer that was released a couple of weeks ago in our episode next. That'll probably come out early next week.
Yeah.
But altogether, we've got 7 fantastic What If episodes. I've had a lot of fun with these shows. I think that we've kind of, had our own little fan theories a little bit. We did a What If episode right before the series started. And should be a lot of fun. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about these 4 episodes. Sorry we had to cram them all into one, but like I said, scheduling, man.
Yeah,
It started off with what if Doctor Strange lost his heart, not his hands? What if zombies? What if Killmonger saves Tony Stark? And what if Thor was an only child? Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Hit us up on Twitter at PS Comics I love the letter U, and we'll post some stuff on Instagram, PS Comics I love you, and our Facebook page as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course give us that 5-star review on the where you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. And he is also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram. I am at Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms. I am still anxiously awaiting for my Amazing Spider-Man number 129 to come back from CGC. We are inching ever so closer to the possible December release of that book. I can't wait to see what it is. I know that JR's sister, and I think even JR just received a crap ton of freaking of CGCs. We will try and do a flex pull on our next episode. I do have Funkos. I've
Yep.
got a whole bunch. I have the Disney Plus Funkos are starting to roll in. I've only had 1 or 2 cancellations, but I'm supposed to get some more of my I think I might have another. I think I've got all my WandaVisions because I have Agatha. I have I do have a Scarlet Witch. Um, I have U.S. Agent. I have Baron Zemo and Bucky. I have the Grandmaster from What If. I have the Hydra Stomper. I'll just name a few, and then I got a few other ones. But I'm supposed to get some more Funkos this coming week. I do have
Yeah.
unboxing coming next week.
Hey, Kevin, you know what? Since you're talking about stuff, I'm going to talk about at least
What
2
up?
of the things that I
Ooh.
got during the convention, man.
Rose City Comic Con exclusives.
Not really, but like I got this exclusively at Yosemite. So this right here, Star Wars Canon, issue number 6. This is the first appearance of the soon to be Sabine Wren. She'll be making an appearance soon on this show, on the Mandalorian show, hopefully, or possibly some spin-offs to it. So first appearance of her, as well as other characters too. And I found this baby for a decent price at the event as well. Morpheus for Sandman #1, first appearance of Morpheus. This book has been going like crazy.
All of it.
A 98, dude. A 98 is going for like I think like 1.5 or 1.2.
We're gonna see how Jared Leto plays Morpheus.
Is he more? No.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's Morbius. That's
Yeah,
the living vampire.
Yeah. Wrong series,
Character.
It's all good. We are tired, my people. So we will definitely get you guys locked and loaded for the next official episode, which will be coming out hopefully sometime next week. We'll be trying filming hopefully this Sunday.
Yep.
We're just to give you guys a heads up. It will probably be about just a bunch of news we missed in the last 3 weeks or so.
So we'll be a catch up some topics and whatnot. And I think the biggest thing is we're going to talk about. I think the biggest thing we're going to talk about arguably is going to be the Hawkeye trailer. I think. But there's some video game stuff, and
I mean, when Wolverine comes out for a video game, that's a pretty big thing to talk about. So there's that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit.
And we're getting ever so closer to the Guardians of the Galaxy video game supposed to come out next month or in November. So we've got that to look forward to, and a lot more. So.
And also, Nintendo Direct just had their live stream yesterday, so we were talking about that.
As a matter of fact, I need to go. I'm going to go upstairs and watch that. Again, he is Jared Cabacungan. I am Kevin Pillow. Hope you guys are being safe out there. Please be careful. Be nice to your fellow human beings. Always wear your damn mask. And as always,
peace. And Vertigo is no joke, people. It's no joke.